It was the kind of summer day that seemed to melt everything in sight. The asphalt shimmered with heat waves, and even the trees hung heavy, their leaves drooping like they were too tired to stay upright. People hurried from one air-conditioned building to the next, dashing through parking lots as though the sun itself was chasing them. In the middle of this small suburban town, the shopping center was busy. Cars filled every row, their metal exteriors almost too hot to touch. It was the kind of day where stepping inside your vehicle felt like walking into an oven, the air thick and scorching, making it hard to breathe until the AC finally kicked in. And in one of those cars, parked toward the back, a golden retriever sat waiting. The dog's name was Max, a happy and loyal companion who loved riding in the car with his owner, Tom. Tom was a 34-year-old man who lived alone, his closest family being Max. To Tom, Max wasn't just a pet. He was his best friend, the one who greeted him at the door, who nudged his hand when life felt too heavy, who reminded him to get out of bed even on the hard days. That afternoon, Tom had driven out to run a few errands. He had taken Max along, as he often did. Max loved car rides, head sticking out the window, tongue flapping in the wind. Tom thought it would be nice for him, a little adventure beyond the house and yard. But when they arrived at the shopping center, Tom faced a choice. He wanted to run into a store, just for a few minutes. He looked at Max in the passenger seat, his tail wagging, completely trusting. Tom hesitated. He knew it was hot. He knew people said it wasn't safe to leave dogs in cars, especially in the summer. But it was only going to be a few minutes, he told himself. He cracked the windows. Max would be fine. So he locked the doors and walked away. Minutes turned into more than minutes. Inside the store, Tom's quick errand stretched out. Waiting in line, bumping into a neighbor, losing track of time. And outside, Max was suffering. The temperature inside a parked car can skyrocket within minutes. On a day when it's 90 degrees outside, the inside of a car can reach 120 in less than 10 minutes. For Max, sitting in the back seat, panting harder and harder, the air was suffocating. The small crack in the window did nothing to relieve the heat. His paws scratched at the seat, his tongue lolled desperately, his body overwhelmed. Meanwhile, shoppers walked by the car. Some noticed the dog inside, panting, clearly distressed. One woman frowned, pulling out her phone. Another man shook his head, but kept walking. Eventually, a small group gathered, debating what to do. Should they wait for the owner? Call the police? Break the window? Someone finally called 911. The dispatcher sent an officer to the scene, but by the time help arrived, Max's condition had worsened. His movements slowed, his panting weaker. Strangers pounded on the glass, calling out, trying to keep him conscious. And then Tom returned. He was shocked to find a crowd around his car, police at the scene, and Max unconscious in the back seat. Panicked, he unlocked the doors, pulling Max out, begging him to breathe. The officer tried CPR for dogs, pouring water, attempting anything that might revive him. But it was too late. Max was gone. The parking lot was silent except for Tom's cries. Strangers who had watched it all unfold stood in shock, some angry, some heartbroken. The officer put a hand on Tom's shoulder, but then asked him to stand up. Because this wasn't just a tragedy anymore. It was a crime scene. Tom was arrested on the spot for animal cruelty. The case quickly caught fire in the community. News stations reported it. Social media erupted with outrage. The idea of leaving a dog in a hot car, and the fact that it led to death, was unbearable for many people. They demanded justice for Max, but others saw it differently. They argued that Tom hadn't meant to hurt his dog. He loved Max. Everyone who knew him said the same thing. Max was his world. He posted pictures of him constantly, talked about him like family. Was it truly cruelty, or was it a tragic mistake? The courtroom was filled with these questions. The prosecution painted Tom as negligent, careless, someone who should have known better. They brought in experts who explained how quickly a car can turn into a death trap, how a cracked window does little to stop the heat from building. They showed pictures of Max, alive and joyful, contrasted with the details of his suffering that day. They argued that Tom had a responsibility, one he failed. The defense tried to tell another story. Tom wasn't a monster, they insisted. He hadn't locked Max in the car out of malice or disregard. He had miscalculated. He thought it would be quick, that Max would be safe. He hadn't intended harm, and his devastation afterward proved it. Was it truly justice, they asked, to punish a man already broken by the loss of his best friend? The jury deliberated. Was this an act of cruelty, deliberate neglect that cost a life? Or was it an accident, born from poor judgment? The kind of mistake anyone could make on a rush day? The weight of the case extended beyond Tom himself. Around the country, similar stories had emerged, of pets or even children left in hot cars with fatal consequences. It sparked broader conversations about responsibility, about awareness, about whether love for a pet is enough if you fail to protect them in the moments it matters most. When the verdict finally came, the room was tense. Tom was found guilty of animal cruelty. His sentence was not severe compared to more violent crimes, but the label would follow him forever. He was ordered to perform community service, to speak publicly about the dangers of leaving animals in cars, to carry the story of Max as a warning. And still, people debated. Some said justice was done. Others said Tom was punished twice, once by the loss of his dog and again by the law. But whichever side they stood on, one thing was clear. Max's story would not be forgotten. On hot days after that, in parking lots across town, people were quicker to notice. They checked cars, called for help, broke windows if they had to. Max's life had ended, but perhaps it had saved others. And for Tom, the question lingered, the same one echoing here. Was he truly guilty, or was it just a heartbreaking accident? Guilty or not? For more chilling true crime cases, subscribe to our channel. Guilty or not?